Hello and welcome back to Pop Culture Therapy. It's Advent Nebula.
And Cruellica Kain.
And this one is basically our summer recap on this lovely, lovely year we call 2020.
I know. 2020 can just go suck it. They can go suck an egg.
Yeah, this has been probably a summer that it's been more of me with friends going back and revisiting old media or looking at other stuff, and really because there's been not a lot of newer stuff to focus on.
Well, I still love from one of our last podcasts where you said that you and Chrysalis Bloodborne and one of her other friends was watching anime of culture.
Yeah, harem anime.
Anime of culture. I don't even know still where to go with that.
Well, when it's Testament of Sister New Devil, To Love Ru, High School of the Dead.
Oh, I love High School of the Dead.
High School DxD. Pretty much what people like to call the four horsemen of the harem apocalypse. Because these are shows you just have to take a pair of scissors to, and they are borderline hentai.
I was gonna say, because I enjoy High School of the Dead. I would never constitute it as a harem anime, but it really is when I think about it now. But that's one of my guilty pleasure animes, especially when you have the boob physics with the assault rifles against zombies. I don't get it. I've always made the joke that I'm a dirty old man in a woman's body, so I understand, but still it makes me laugh. For me and Kaiju, because unfortunately I live with him, it's financial obligation because we're married, so divorce is expensive.
But at the same time, you guys finally finished off the old classic Doctor Who after so long.
Oh my god, it's taken years! But yes, we spent a good portion of our summer catching up on the classic Doctor Who. I know Kaiju is working on different videos. I think he just recently released his Tom Baker top 10, and he's going to be doing some more of it. The other thing we've done is we tried to catch up on some of the movies that came out earlier this year that we didn't get a chance to really watch because they weren't in theaters at the time. Like, we watched The Lodge, Bloodshot, The Turning.
Oh, Bloodshot was terrible.
Invisible Man, Fantasy Island. And admittedly, they weren't the greatest, but...
Except for The Invisible Man was...
Oh, The Invisible Man was...
phenomenal.
That was phenomenal. But Fantasy Island actually wasn't as bad as the ratings made it sound. It was actually pretty reasonable.
I watched Pete Davidson's King of Staten Island, which was a phenomenal film.
I heard it was good. I have to watch that one. I watched Matabiten and Matabiten 2, which is basically Third Eye and Third Eye 2. They are Thai horror movies, and if you've only seen Korean, Japanese, and American, I would definitely take a look at Thai, Indonesian, and Indian or Hindu horror movies.
We watched a few of Korean revenge flicks, which is something I really enjoy, and also one of my other friends really enjoys. If you have not seen The Villainous, the movie does drag a little bit in the middle, but it's probably one of the best Korean revenge films that has come out in the last 5 years. I actually got to see that when I was originally in theaters for a few nights when Alamo was open before I actually own it on Blu-ray now.
I also, because I don't have, I guess, anime of culture, and I'm using quotations, which you can't see, I will say I've gotten my own personal anime fix, and that's yaoi. As I am a fujoshi, I will never, ever deny this. I watch Hidojime, My Hero, as well as Love Stage.
I'm surprised you haven't watched him given that. That's guitars and relationships between a young man and his mentor.
I have yet to catch up on. I have so much to catch up on, because I also got a classic clamp anime, Angelic Lair, which is basically the same style as like Cardcaptor Sakura, but it is almost like Gundam Build Fighters because they're toys you're playing with. So I've been doing a lot of that, rewatching some stuff of JoJo's. I haven't watched too many of the new animes yet, not for lack of interest, but admittedly just lack of time.
Certainly the only thing I've been really watching is the second season of ReZero.
But I still try to catch up on Fire Force, which I can't wait because I know that's now coming out in Blu-ray, so I'm going to be picking it up because I want to support that one.
The only problem with it is it's doing the same thing Soul Eater did with its manga to anime adaptation.
I don't hate Soul Eater. A lot of people have problems with it, and I do understand because I've read the manga, so I do know it differentiates, and that is problematic to certain degrees. It's kind of like Full Metal Alchemist. I like the original anime, and then I like Brotherhood, that is faithful to the manga. It's basically you just kind of have to...
I think they're also doing it because they are trying to wrap up because they're expected to have that JoJo's Part 6 announcement when Fire Force finishes up.
Well, absolutely. But I think they've already announced there's going to be a Season 2.
That's the Season 2 where they say it's going to divert from the manga.
Sure, which it is what it is. A lot of things do it, so it's not surprising these days. I am looking forward to JoJo's Part 6. I know it's where they literally jump the shark.
Yeah,
I'm surprised there's no characters named Fonzie in it because of that, but...
I'm just like, we'll get the announcement eventually, but it's like, probably going to be, with what's been going on, probably going to be a year later than we thought.
Well, it makes sense, but I've watched the live action JoJo's Diamond is Unbreakable movie. Chrysalis Bloodborne actually watched it because I lent it to him, and he was actually quite impressed with it too.
Which we're now guaranteed not to have a sequel after the scandal with the actor who played Jotaro.
I did not know about a scandal.
He got caught with marijuana and admitted to smoking it. His career is done. In Japan, once you end up with any kind of drug charge, they wipe you off the map in the acting community.
Well, Japan, respectfully, I mean, Japan is very, very strict on any kind of substances that are illegal or narcotics, so to speak. Basically, their two drugs of choice in Japan are booze and cigarettes. Anything that deviates from that, they are a no-go on. Because if you were ever convicted of a felony or a misdemeanor for a drug charge in any other country, guess what country you cannot go to?
They will not let you in at all with a visa.
Nope. I actually, ironically, learned this because of Paris Hilton. That's pretty sad that I learned it because of her, but still. So they're very strict about it. There is, as obviously of the actor, drugs are everywhere. That is unfortunate to some people, fortunate for others, depending on your side of the aisle with that. But Japan has always been very strict, and even the Yakuza don't do too much with drugs.
The Yakuza will pretty much go cigarettes and booze. If you use any other kind of illegal narcotics, we associate you with the triad.
Pretty much. Now, that's not to say there's no Yakuza who do anything like that, but it's very rare because Yakuza are very different than most mafiosa type things.
They're honor bound.
Exactly. So, not to go too off topic, but this year has been an interesting year for watching stuff, I guess is the best way of putting it. I think most people that I've talked to, both personally as well as in my professional endeavors, a lot of people are just binging on whatever they can binge on, be it Netflix, be it Tubi, Disney Plus. We watch The Mandalorian. There's so much.
Yeah, I ended up binging through Lore on Amazon Prime, which takes old urban legends and old folk tales and applies them in a real world setting to the stories like they're an actual real case that happened or something.
Oh, that's kind of interesting. I'll have to look for that at some point. But I think this year, well, there's a lot of anime and we'll definitely be catching up to it. I think it's really just still getting used to our new normal. I think being home a lot is really at this point now starting to take its toll. We went to the movie theater about 2 weeks ago.
private party, so we didn't have a lot of strangers.
Yeah,
in
it was
there.
about 20 people in total. And we watched Jurassic Park. This movie we have probably collectively have watched tons of times.
But this was their 4K remaster, which I had not seen yet.
No, I hadn't seen the 4K remaster, but I think what was so invigorating about it is, one, getting out of the house for something other than grocery shopping or food, and being around people, even if you are still being socially distant, just to have an opportunity of watching a movie again. People cheered. It was 20 of us. We all pretty much knew each other to a degree, and we still cheered because a movie.
Yeah, we were actually able to get out and do something.
It was a movie. We had popcorn. I eat popcorn at home because it's low carb and healthy, so I can take advantage of it. But movie theater popcorn. It's
the terrible popcorn for you.
the worst popcorn in the world. But everyone, I think every single person except for like 2 people,
Me being one of them.
got popcorn because we're in a movie theater. We have to.
That was just because I was planning on going to the ramen shop next door after the
Well,
movie.
yeah. The fact that you and Chris Lidge and our other friend just all gorged on ramen afterwards amazes me. But it was just so nice because we got to catch up with people we hadn't seen in a while because, once again, pandemic. We got to see cute baby pictures because one of our friends just recently had his little girl. So that was exciting. Well, at least for me because, girl. But it was nice to do something like that. I think it was a long time coming, and I'm hoping by the time things start calming down, because the cases are going lower. Obviously, there's a fear of a resurgence because of all the hurricane season stuff going on.
The wildfires in California, we're seeing a resurgence, and South Dakota, after Sturgis, is exploding.
Well, yes, and then we have the upcoming flu season, which I think everybody is on a little edge because, as I saw one meme say, allergy season, let the Salem witch trials begin. Because everyone is on edge because this is a really unknown pandemic and it's a little scary
And
because...
for where I work, going into holiday season and overtime, which pretty much with my position is a guarantee.
Oh yeah, no, my hours will be decreasing, not increasing.
Yeah, mine will be going up because of holidays.
But it is hard because I think, as everyone who's listening has probably experienced, you're not doing the same things you were doing a year ago today. And with some states starting to look at canceling Halloween, which Kaiju has a long argument about that, it is a little sad because even for Halloween, it's like a trifecta. It's, I think, on a Saturday.
It's Saturday. It's going to be the first full moon in 8 years on Halloween.
It's going to be Saturday, Halloween, a full moon, and nothing. And we all begged coronavirus not to screw this up for us, but unfortunately, Corona did not listen. Mainly because stupid people did not listen. But I hope all of you are taking care of yourselves because it is a scary time still. It's getting better, but it's still a little scary. And hopefully you're still stable financially, depending on how old you are, how young you are. Hopefully everything is going okay with your family where you're able to still maintain a living and lifestyle that is what you're used to a degree.
Yeah, it's been a rough ride, but I think we've been able to manage it as everything's been going on.
We have. I will say at my apartment complex here, it's been quite surprising how many of my neighbors had to move out to either move to cheaper areas, maybe out of state, or move in with family again just because the cost burden. So I worry about that for a lot of people.
Yeah, I've been watching a lot of vacancies all of a sudden open up in my complex for a lot of people that have been there for eons, and it's like a lot of them I've noticed were Section 8.
Well, a lot of funding is going away. So hopefully everyone's taking care of themselves. I didn't want to kind of put it on a dark turn. Unfortunately, 2020 makes everything go to a dark turn. But soon, we will be able to inspire you with a therapy session of the ages.
We're going to be taking a look at one of the icons of slasher films.
One of the ones that kind of changed it a little bit because it wasn't strictly just a guy stalking someone. It was going into your nightmares, taking a more supernatural route that really hadn't been done at that point.
Yes. It was when you really realized that Wes Craven was going to be something special as a director.
Absolutely, where he really took an iconic type of thought process of where can we really scare people that's not just in the dark corner? Where can we get people that they can't technically protect themselves from?
And it inspired Clive Barker when he created Pinhead, too.
Absolutely. There's a lot of inspirations. Obviously, all slasher horror was inspired from others, starting with Alfred Hitchcock, but we're going to be looking at one of my personal favorite slasher villains, and that is Frederick Krueger, or Freddy Krueger.
Who's probably one of the most meta when you think about it.
He really is, and obviously is a terrible human being. We'll get into all of that in our therapy chair session, so hopefully we'll see you there.